Babe. Luther. What are you doing? Did mommy get some on her arm? Okay, we're good. Stop. Love you. Hi, welcome to Fiber Love Diary. I'm Trish if we haven't met, and if we have met, welcome back. We're gonna be weaving today. How are you? I'm not gonna tell you what we're gonna make with the finished fabric yet, partially because I'm scared I can't do it. A little bit. It's gonna require sewing. I'm going to just, we're just gonna do all of it. I haven't sewn as much with my hand woven fabric as I'd like to, and so that's gonna be part of the whole process, I guess. I have done some, you guys have seen me do some pillows and things like that, but I really do want to do more of that because, you know, there's only so many scarves you can make. There's only so many whatever. I would just like to have more options for what I can do with my hand woven fabric. So I'm gonna use these two yarns from last week. I know many of you probably saw them, but some of you probably didn't, because if you only come for the weaving videos and you don't see the spinning videos, you wouldn't have seen. So I spun this Valentine yarn last week. This project is gonna be Valentine like decoration kind of thing. I have just a few little things for the house for Valentine's Day, you know, to make it lovey. I don't know. So I used the Weavolution calculator this morning. I looked up what size fabric pieces I need for this project. So I'll need 2 of everything. And you can put in what size you want your finished piece to be, how much draw-in you anticipate, how much shrinkage you anticipate, all those kinds of things, and it will tell you how much you need for warp and how much you need for weft. You also have to know your set. You have to estimate your picks per inch if you haven't checked it already. If my picks per inch estimate is not good, I am gonna be cutting it a little close. That's my one thing, is that my picks per inch, I didn't do a test piece or a sample piece, so I made my best guess. Cross your fingers for me. You know what, if I'm not fine, I'll know after the first one. This is how I plan things. Maybe you want to know, maybe you don't. So I'll know after the first one is finished. I definitely have plenty for one. So if I'm not fine on the weft yarn, because I'm definitely fine on the warp yarn. If I'm not fine on the weft yarn, I'll find out after the first piece is done. I can go to my stash, or I can go to my leftovers bins and find something that will work with it and like make an edging or stripe up the middle or something like that, so that I can stretch it a little further. We'll just get creative if that happens. Okay, so I'm gonna go get my loom set up. I have my warping bar attached up here. I've done this before on the mantle, and I have, the warp is 21.6 inches wide, and it needs to be 63 inches long. So I'm going to measure 63 inches up from the back of the warping bar down to my back beam, and then I'm going to put my box of kettlebells underneath to hold the loom and make sure it can't move. Here is my warp. It's 63 inches. It's going up to the warping bar. I always get questions, so I feel like I have to answer what's going on. There is divided up 1 inch of warp on each peg. It doesn't come out even on this, so I just do the math and like do 8, 8, 8, 6 is what I do as far as ends. So it comes out to be basically 1 inch per peg. That's the back of the warping bar. All you do is drop the top on. Okay, there. Okay, so you drop the top on, put on the wing nuts. So, and the warping bar is like specially designed so that it's really holding this warp in here tight as long as you screw the 2 pieces down together with the wing nuts properly. So I'm going to grab a piece of Mylar and I will lay the Mylar on top of the warp, and then I'm going to roll this whole thing up. I get questions about this whole bolt and everything too. The Mylar, when you turn this, it's going to go into the Mylar and it's going to make a smooth surface that goes right over this whole bolt. And you can leave the pegs in, or you can just take them out at this step. I usually take them out, so I'm going to take them out really fast and grab a piece of Mylar. I cover the whole width. Pretty easy, and like sometimes I put these in before I screw the bolts down, but I didn't do it this time, and I really don't need to. So let me take these guys off. And once you catch them, just like this, you're good. And this is where you can see it's gonna just create a smooth thing right over this. See? So the whole thing just domes over. All right, so this is what we have to weave on. I don't always do this on camera because I always think it's self-explanatory, but apparently it's not. So let's flip the lock up. Then I'm gonna wind this back just a teeny bit so I can catch some Mylar in the back. As I wind on the back, I wind off the front. Okay. So it's controlling the tension, just winding it from one to the other, because you just basically produced a perfect warp right off the bat. So it's really easy. That's it. It's wound onto the back. So then you can just loosen up your wing nuts. And you can see, that's what I'm saying, it's tightly held in here. I'm gonna cut these loops and then slay this loom. Now, I've talked about this before. I like my tension better when both sides of my loom end in a hole. So I put an extra loop on here. I'm just gonna drop one string off the back. And I'm gonna knot it as I go across and do groups of 6. I know some of you guys are gonna understand this and you're gonna be like, Trish, why do you keep harping on it? But so one end, see it's going through the hole. I'm gonna come down to the other end and it's going through, the last one is going through a hole. I actually took the other half of the loop and just threw it over the back. Look, there's Gus. He's taking a nap. Look at him. All I have to do is lash this on. I've done this in previous videos. I'll actually link the one where I really showed how this works and why it works, and then I'll be ready to weave. Oh my gosh, that was so fast. I can't stand it. Let's go. Okay, so we're in my living room. That's where I had my loom set up. I know I have bare walls everywhere. I don't know why I'm like this, but I really like a lot less clutter. So I also seem to be super picky about art that's on my walls. Hello. I have finished the weaving. I am gonna show you this, but before I do, I wanna quickly just explain a little bit. So I like to use the Weavolution calculator for my yardage and for how long like my warp should be based on what size piece I want to take off my loom. It is really, really good. So I expect to have plenty and everything be fine. So the one thing that I have noticed with it is that if you're weaving with it's really geared, or it gives loom waste based on using a floor loom, which typically has quite a bit more waste because the length of tying things on is a lot longer, or at least in the back, is a lot longer than on rigid Heddle Loom. And you can see, I'm gonna show you guys. Front to back, I have under tension, maybe 8 inches of waist, okay? And in the front, there is no more than 6. So it assigns you amount of waist and you can adjust it, but I only adjusted it down to 24 inches and it could have gone down even more because obviously I'm not even close to 24 inches of waist. So I just kept weaving, and I did run out of the 2 different Valentine yarns. So I went to my stash. I was like, I want to use a hand woven yarn. I want something that's like gonna be different than the pink but still kind of coordinate. So this is what I went with. I'm gonna show you guys. I went with this stuff that has an orange base but had add-ins that were green, hot pink because it would look nice with this warp, and then like a really bright turquoise or aqua color. So I'm gonna cut this off now, and you're gonna see like a couple different fabrics. All right, can you tell I wrapped a present here last night? Okay, so I am done. I love it. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be, and honestly bigger than I wanted. But isn't it cute? And for Valentine's Day, so cute. My plan was to embroider something on here, but I was struggling to figure out where that was going to fall. So now I can do that. But I mean, it's kind of a fun way to use crazy woven fabric. And it's like stiff enough that it stands up by itself with that interfacing in there. It's a little wrinkled, but I'll steam it or iron it. I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. It's cute. So I'll fill it with something cute for Valentine's Day to decorate. It's fun. I kind of do wish I had embroidered it though. I just couldn't exactly figure out where that was gonna fall. So I was afraid I would get it a little bit wonky and then it was really going to be noticeable. Thanks for joining me for the whole weaving and making this basket. I will place links below for where you can get the basket pattern and spinning this yarn video, everything. I will see you guys soon. Thanks. I love you. Bye.